Apace Nursery near the Swan River, and I'm here meeting the Apace Nursery manager, Tony Freeman. And Tony's going to show us what they do at Apace and how they propagate native plants and make them available for landscaping all over the southwest. So here's Tony.
Hey Dave. Hello everybody there. My name's Tony. I've been the manager of Apace for the past 30 years. I hear that you're very interested in growing native plants and seed collecting. So we're going to show you around, and if there's things that you like, or you might find that are useful for you. We do quite a lot of things at Apace, and as shown on the sign here, we have a retail and wholesale nursery. We grow over 400,000 plants every year. We have a natural design landscape architecture service, so we go out and design revegetation projects and even for people's backyards using local native plants. Project management, revegetation design, seed collection. We've been collecting seeds for 30 years, and it's one of our joys. And we do have a seed bank here, so we'll be able to show that to you when we get further on. We've got organic gardens, so we have the first community organic gardens in Perth. And also it's a venue for volunteers. Okay, come with us and let's have a look. Come into the shade house and we'll show you all of our plants. Hundreds of thousands of them in here. And here we go. So Dave's just panning it all around now, so you can see a lot of the newly planted things. Spinifex in the front here. We're going right through to the shade house right at the back. So you get 40 plants in a tray. The beauty about these is that the bottoms of the pots sit off the ground, and so they get air pruned, and so you don't have worries about root coiling and that sort of thing. So on a table like this whole table here, 3,140 plants. As the water comes down here, it flows through the pots and it picks the fertilisers up, and then it flows down. And normally it would just, in most nurseries, it'd go onto the ground, but we're collecting all the water here. It goes down through this pot, it's raised up there, all the water runs down through here and into our pipe, running down and finally into our wetland system out the back. If you look here, you can see all of these pipes. They run from all around the nursery. We were able to gravity feed it all, and then come down through into this sump in here. So this is where all of our wastewater is going. Once it fills up there, it then comes into our wetland beds. Come on through and I'll show them to you. So these are all our beds here. We've got 10 of them. You can see they get quite lush. This is Goticoli, and all the water flows through these beds. So this has all been dug up. So what we do in these beds is we strip them. So I can get 10,000 cuttings out of this bed, and that will be going into wetlands in May and June. And then it comes out of the end of these beds, and just over here is our water tank. So once the water's come out through there into here, we can measure this water, and we know that it's got very little nutrient in it compared to the water that's actually going in the beds in the first place. So it works really easily. We don't really have to do very much. We just harvest the divisions and that sort of thing to grow back in the nursery and keep turning it over and over. And just around the corner are the community gardens. These are the Apace Community Gardens. They've been in operation here for 30 years, so they're among some of the oldest. Of course, they're not as old as the yam beds and that sort of thing that have been here for 60,000 years, but these ones have been here for 30 years. So that water that comes out of the treated water beds provides all of these gardens, these lush veggie gardens. Here we are in our seed drying tunnel, and you can see the Banksias there. That's Banksia tenuata. We've got many Banksias in here at the moment. Banksia menziesii, and I've got one here I can just flip open. This is the separator here, As you pull it out, you see that there's 2 seeds on either side of the separator. Now these seeds, when they fall out, let's see if David can get that, just let that go. You can see that they spin like a helicopter. So if they get a bit of wind behind them, they'll move quite a long way from the parent plant. Okay, so this is our seed bank, and this has got all of our equipment where we clean the seed and store the seed. So we're going to give you a little tour through that now. Come on in. We've got lots of racks and things in here. We have to label everything very carefully, what we have. This is a Melaleuca. It's very fine seed. Most of this will have fallen out by now. With our sieve. Here's our bottom tray. Always want something for all of where the seed or the dust or those sort of things are going to go. And then we have these different size meshes. Okay. That's also. Okay, so just flipping these out, getting them falling out and falling through. And we're going to put it through this sieve just to get rid of any of the other. Okay, let's have a look and see what we've got. So on the top tray here, we've got some of the fruits. There's no seed left in that. That's fallen out of there, so that's good. There's 1 seed still in this one. We keep going down our trays, so we've got, you see most of it gone through this one. Here's all of our seeds. Okay, some seeds quite fine, and the smaller seeds gone down into the bottom tray. So generally speaking, the bigger the seed, the better. So this is the seed that we want. You can look at this, it's beautiful and glossy, black. And that's Belga, Noongar plant. Okay, now I'm going to take you into our seed bank. This is where we store all our seed and where we clean it. So now we're going to be processing all of our seed. What we've got here is a really good scale, and so we can weigh it all up. This is our Swan Regional Seed Bank, and we collect for a lot of government departments and councils and various friends groups. So I'll show you into our fridge. This is seed that we've collected for the city of Coburn, and I've got a whole box full. So we're going to turn around, put it on the table, and you can have a look at various sorts of seeds. So here's some of the seed that we've collected for the city of Coburn. This one's an Atriplex isotodea. It grows on the coast, and you can see it's almost vacuum packaged, and that's because we use carbon dioxide as our main treatment. You do need to treat the seed somehow because there's a lot of eggs being laid on it, a lot of insects in there, and you'll just find that they think they've gone to heaven and they'll chew the whole lot, so you'll have none left. So what we use is carbon dioxide. So here's our carbon dioxide bottle here. Here's our little dispenser. So we put this in and fill it full of CO2, and then put it through our bag sealer. Okay, so that's our process for fumigating our seed, and that's we've been doing this now for 25 years, so it works really well. Okay, that's the seed bank. This is our potting shed. As you can probably see in here, we've got tons of trolleys everywhere. Just shift some of those out of the way for a tick. And this is our main source of getting all the stock around the nursery. Okay, this is one of our trays here. 40 pots, as I showed you before. This has all been filled full of soil, and we have some machinery and equipment to help us get there. So I'm going to show that to you now. Important in the nursery. The beauty about this is that we bring a barrel up, we empty our soil in it. This is a conveyor dropping all the plants up. Normally it would be swung around like this, and it's sitting over our hopper, it drops all the soil into there. So I'm just going to come around and show you how this all works. So you can see that these bars here are rolling up. If there was soil in there, they'd be dragging that up. Cross over here, you can see a little bit of the soil still splashing down. These are all of our seed labels here, and let's get one to take it up. You really want to have something like this once you get going. It costs a lot more to do actually to do it by hand, and it just takes a lot more effort. So we grow a lot of seeds. So this one's Bomia articulata. It's a white label. We have all of our rushes and sedges, that's our wetland plants, are in white labels. Yeah, so record keeping is really important. When you collect your seed, if we go back to the start of that, you'll have if you keep a record, the date that you collected it, and because there's no books telling people about when's the best time to collect and those sort of things. So keeping records is really important. Okay, we'll close this one up. Okay, so this is a hand wash. Anybody who works here, they need to wash their hands after morning, well, when they first arrive, and after morning tea and lunch and that sort of thing. There's a lot of diseases can get carried on hands, and particularly smoking is definitely a no-no, so we have to make sure that we keep really clean procedure. There's a lot of diseases that are waterborne and that will affect our plants. So nursery hygiene is very important. So in this shade house, we've got plants that are starting to grow on, but we've also got our tray stock. We'll just show that to you. Down. Okay, so this is a Banksia. It's a small Banksia, Banksia telmatia. It's got its label here, as you saw before. It's got a date on it. So this is the 12th of December that it was germinated, and 6 weeks later, this is a germination that we're getting out of it. With this particular one, there would be 100 seeds in every tray. So I'm still looking at quite a lot more germination to come through. And then we come to something like this. This is the Godia baccata, it's a coastal one, and they just rock it. So here's the little seedlings coming up, and then they're getting up to this sort of height really quickly. So we grow thousands and thousands of these trays. Here's a eucalypt. The eucalypts will rock it to get away really quickly. Just trying to see for you what this is. This is chewit, my favourite tree. You can see that there's about 300 or 400 in there. This is also, you can see the collection system. So it starts up quite high. These little plastics that we're collecting it all in, the water flows down this end into the pipes, and then down into that wetland shade house that we saw before, where we've got our wetland sedge beds. But come on through, we're going to have a look at our first nursery. Here it is. This is where we started from. We started growing plants about 28 years ago on this site here, and this was my brother's. This is where he used to grow plants, had a plastic cover on it, and this is where we actually started from. So this is about 40 years old, this structure, we're still keeping up, but we grew mainly herbs and things like that in this small little house. But that's really where the Apace Nursery came from. It could grow 300 or 400 plants. Now it's growing 400,000 plants. But this is also still being used now. This is our smokehouse. So we've got a gas bottle here. We've got a burner down in here. So we load all of our trays of seedlings in once they've first been sown and then topped off. They come and get put into these things here, and we turn our campo, okay, on a old low pressure burner. Just put some sticks in it. Doesn't really matter what it is too much. There you go, you can see it there, and it all gets charred. Don't really want it to burn off, prefer that it's a charcoal. That one's gone a little bit too hot, and then that increases all of our germination. So most of our plants seed goes through this process of getting smoked, which is what would have happened naturally.
28 years ago when Tony started this off with that tiny little shed. He never ever dreamed that it would be like this. And now that he's got this established and growing 400,000 plants a year and providing revegetation opportunities and landscape advice all over the southwest of Western Australia, and a wonderful seed bank, started from very, very humble beginnings. So I'd like to thank Tony for giving us the time and showing us around today, and I hope you like our little video. Thank you very much, and thank you, Tony.
Thank you. And if you're down in town, come and visit us. And as David said, you're quite welcome to ring up once you get rolling. If there's anything that we can help, we'll try and do what we can. Look forward to meeting you.